what does a good daily practice session consist of? Pardon the preposition. Jensen, I'm going to ask you to field this one, if you don't mind.
Okay, so a good daily practice session is definitely something that you're going to start on. So let's just say I'm going to start on learning a new chord, or I'm going to start on learning a new scale, or start on learning a new song. That's important. That I would begin with that. Then go to something that you're kind of in the middle of like, oh, maybe I'm working on a C to A minor transition, or maybe I'm working in the middle of working on this A minor pentatonic scale. And then move to something that you're really just reviewing, like a song that you're like, oh, I feel good about, I just kind of want to keep it fresh. So there's always different layers that you're hitting. You're hitting that new thing that's challenging. You're getting that second thing kind of up to speed. Mm-hmm. and digging into it a little bit more, and then you're reviewing and kind of having fun. And I would always go in that order of most challenging first, because then everything tends to get easier, and it's also harder when it's flipped, because then we just kind of want to mess around. Like if I'm just going to play around with a song, I'm going to end up noodling for an hour. Then my time's up. I got to go do adult things, like pay bills and like get my car washed and be an adult human. So if you flip it to make it the most challenging thing first, then you'll end up making more progress, and chances are your level will increase a lot more because you're hitting those new things. Because remember, practicing is all about trying to do something new. There's a difference between practicing, playing, and reviewing. So make sure that you know what you're doing in those times.
Great answer. Now, another roadblock we hear about is that people feel that they just don't have the talent or the skill, and they get frustrated. And we just heard you play a song, and it might seem easy for you, but you learned how to play it like everybody else, right, Dylan? So what's your advice for people who feel they don't have the talent, the perceived, I should say, lack of talent?
Yeah, it's definitely a perception. I mean, there's certainly like people have aptitude, but talent to some extent can be a myth, right? A great example would be Leopold Mozart, who was Mozart's father, wrote the premiere at the time, which would have been the Fender play for violins. And so when Mozart was growing up, he was literally immersed in music in every possible way. And he wrote an opera by the time he was 12. Anyways, it goes on, Marriage of Figaro. But the idea is one of the things about the perception of talent is that without tenacity, talent reaches limits quickly. So you really, if you think you're short on talent, which is a narrative, by the way, that you can change, but if you do think you're short, remember that you can always push through that by rewarding yourself on a regular basis. And a lot of what Jensen was just talking about was fragmenting things out and then giving yourself a reward. Instagram was the reward in the first example. Learning the song was the reward after doing scales in the second example. And just saying, you know what, here's where I was, look where I am now, look how much I've done. That is a dopamine hit. That is, my dissertation was on neuroscience in music teaching and learning, and it was about how neurons are connected. Things happen when you feel like you're getting something done. It's the jet fuel. So it's really all about realizing that you are accomplishing something simply by sitting down and doing something new and enjoying your life and living in the moment and playing an instrument. And music is a listening sport. Never forget that. You want inspiration? Listen. That's where it comes.
Thanks for checking out this Fender Play lesson excerpt. Now take what you've learned and continue your guitar learning journey with Fender Play, a completely customizable learning experience for anyone who wants to learn to play guitar, bass, or ukulele. One of my favorite parts of the Fender Play app is practice mode, which includes features like auto-scrolling tablature, backing tracks, variable playback speed, and built-in metronome. You can track your progress while you learn to play using over 3,000 lessons and innovative practice features like chord challenge and weekly gear giveaways. Click the link to sign up for your free trial of Fender Play today. No credit card required.